Hello and welcome. This is No Shave Man Cave, and this is a special edition, something we're trying out just for you guys. I have here Elijah and Jay Tilly, and I am your guest host, Tony Allen, just trying to make a buck here for you guys.
El Editor, let's go.
We're going to try something new. We're going to do a couple of questions about the topics of the week. Each of them will have a minute and a half to give their side or just blah, blah, blah. And there will be points at the end of this. And whoever wins will wear a crown or a tiara, depending on what you like. I saw
Very
somebody's
nice.
eyes just like beaming. Oh, tiara, I like that.
Hello.
All right. So here first is Elijah.
Well, hey, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whenever you're catching us. El Editor, Jay Tilly, Ellie J are here in the Man Cave with this awesome round robin type show. And the Man Cave is getting ready to hit the road running. We've been trying to get our stuff together, and we are ready, willing, and able. There's so much wrestling going on, and I am jacked to the nines to talk about it 24/7.
Jay Tilly, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, I'm right there with you. There's a lot going on in the wrestling world. Ups and downs. Sorry, Simon, didn't mean to infringe. Goods and bads, let's say that, throughout the wrestling world. Crazy stuff like, 83-year-olds getting back in the ring to, rating wars, if you want to talk about them, to Netflix, to HBO Max, to AEW and WWE and storytelling and all that stuff. So I'm excited to see what El Editor's got set up for us on this one. Like you said, new format, new try. So we're going to check this out. You can kind of call this a relaunch of the channel. We are going to start pumping out some more stuff. We had personal life stuff to take care of between some health stuff Jared and his family are going through to me and being laid off. So a lot of stuff going on, but we're going to get back on track and try to start entertaining our folks again.
Let's go.
That's right. This is a soft relaunch, as they call it. Now, I'm going to flip a
Coin toss.
It's tails, so Elijah goes first on the
Let's
first
go.
question. Here we go.
I'm always the... Wait a minute.
All right. So
Always finishing first.
recently, we had Survivor Series War Games, and we had a friend of ours, somebody that at least I like a lot. CM Punk returned. It was super hyped, at least on television. Yes, WWE super hyped stuff, all the time. Is there any impact on CM Punk being part of the OG bloodline? Does it make sense in the WWE narrative? And what impact will have in the future as we are coming on to WrestleMania season? Elijah, you got a minute and 30 seconds.
El Editor, I tell you what, CM Punk being here, part of the original OG, along with the OTC, Roman Reigns wreaked havoc while CM Punk was gone. For 10 years, the monster that the architect created wreaked havoc. Now, he has come in, he helped Roman Reigns regain a little bit of power, and now we're starting to plug and chug away, right? And, now he's got a little bit of power, which means eventually he's going to move into title contention. They'll probably keep him away from the title, but think about all the damage that was done. Now you've got Seth Rollins coming out here acknowledging, did I just say acknowledge? Saying, yes, I created Roman Reigns 10 years ago. Then talking about who hit who in the back with a chair. And, well, everybody's hit everybody with a chair. So I think this is phenomenal. Great storytelling. You can unpack it so many different ways. And there's no limit to where you can take it. You've got the original Heyman guy. You've got the bloodline. You've got, the returning hero, the Second City Saint. There's so much you can do with that, whether it's
10 seconds.
Let it be McIntyre. Let it be whoever you want to be. CM Punk, best in the world.
Time. Jay Tilly.
All right. I don't care. Like,
Oh wow!
so I love CM Punk. I like CM Punk a lot.
Apparently not.
Well, no, I do. That's what I want to get into, right? Like, it's weird. I was watching Raw too and Survivor Series, and I'm like, man, that's CM Punk. I love CM Punk, but in the back of my mind, I still have that shit he pulled in AEW, and I don't know why that affects me so much. I think because I like that product so much, and you can almost say when he left, it was the downfall of that product. So seeing him come out with the bloodline and everything, I was like, meh, whatever.
Ooh, downfall. That's big words. Okay, go ahead. Continue.
Yeah,
Continue.
I mean, think about it. Like, think of where AEW was compared to where they are, and he left, and Cody left, and all So I have this like, and it's weird because every time he's in there, I'm like, God, I love CM Punk, but I don't have that feeling. So when he came out for the Bloodline, it made sense storyline wise. The Paul Heyman stuff, I get it. Paul's a guy that's going to pull favors for him. I think for WrestleMania, you'd ask like what it's going to do for WrestleMania. I imagine we'll probably see Roman Reigns versus CM Punk at WrestleMania. Whether it's for a title or not, I don't know. I don't see Roman beating Cody or beating Gunther for a title. So it might just be those two. But we're still a ways off, so maybe. He did drop the hint about, finishing a story at WrestleMania, so maybe we're going to get Punk and Cody. But it wasn't, to me, it wasn't like a huge return. Like, it wasn't one of those groundbreaking. It wasn't CM Punk returning to wrestling. It was just
10 seconds.
CM Punk showing up. So I was just like, whatever. Just like Bronson Reed in there. I was like, whatever. I don't care.
Time. Okay. So, wow. Jay Tilly, I gotta give you, that was a really hot take. I was not expecting that.
Sorry.
I appreciate the sincerity. I appreciate your candor. Yes, it felt, I'm going to say on my end, it felt weird. It did make sense, but I do love it. I do love to see him. And I don't know where they're going to go WrestleMania wise. I don't know how that will make sense WrestleMania wise. Well, we're still kind of far away. We still got some Royal Rumbling to do and stuff like that. But I guess things in the waters will settle before we get there. But I do love having him on the show. He's one of my favorites now.
Me too. I mean, like I said, I like him. I
don't know. You kind of re-stabbed me on the back. Gotta put this on the air now. Okay. Anyways, so we had a reunion for the New Day. What was their anniversary? Something like that.
10 year.
10-year anniversary. Yes, and Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods sounds very Professor X kind of thing. Xavier Woods kind of turned heel on him. Did not, give him a super kick through the window, which never really happened. That's just a Mandela effect thing that everybody thinks they did, but it didn't. How does this development affect the legacy of the New Day? And what do you think is the potential for Biggie, knowing we know that he's hurt? We don't know if he can come back. Well, we don't really know because, medical stuff, I guess they have to stay as far as they want to tell us. But what are the implications for the New Day as their legacy? And are we going to see Biggie come back? And if he does, should he be in a wrestling capability? Go ahead.
Who's got first? Okay.
No, he goes first every time.
Okay, got it.
I tell you, having Biggie back in the ring, I thought it was super exciting, very emotional. He's, returning after 4 years of getting dropped on his head. Thanks, Rich.
4 years. Wow. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So, he comes back and you're starting to see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. They're starting to unpack what they're going to talk about. And you're like, they're probably going to break up. They're going to go their own ways. You'd hate to see them feud because, they've been together for 10 years and not every tag team needs a break up and then feud. They can just go their separate ways. Thanks for nothing. Love you. Got to go by. Then down comes Big E and they just eviscerate him. You weren't there when we needed you. You only show up now because it's convenient. Where were you when we needed you? You were off doing your own thing and it was always we over me. He comes back. Well, now you've got the heel, New Day, whatever they're going to call themselves, Big E. I hope he gets cleared. I don't think he will, but I tell you what, I love the play on social media. His girlfriend and and Kofi and Xavier on social media, talking about their bland palates and terrible food, and I'm here for it.
10
How
seconds.
is it going to affect? How is it going to affect? Big E is going to get cleared, and he's going to eviscerate these guys. And what is it going to do for the legacy? You just wasted 10 years of the greatest packaging. Boom.
Oh, time. Great point, man. I love it. I think that they did. I don't know. It is always hard to break these people up. But I think that's it has to happen at one point. It would be better that they did it now. Go ahead, Jay Tiller, you got it.
See, I have a different take. I think this is going to solidify the two as a tag team. I think for their legacy, what it's going to do is just make them a heel tag team. I think now they like you said, they eviscerated him. Hey, you weren't there for us. These guys all came back from injuries and they didn't have anyone come back, but we were waiting for you. And I think they're going to use that common hatred for Big E to run as a heel tag team now. Whether they keep the name New Day or not, I don't know. But just the way it felt at the end of that segment, I feel like they're going to continue as a tag team, but they're not going to be the happy-go-lucky New Day. I think you're going to see almost like, the dark New Day, like in Star Trek where they all had mustaches when they were evil. They're all going to wear their dark colors and be the evil versions of themselves. And that's what I see. As far as their legacy, though, it's not going to do anything to hurt their legacy. The New Day was awesome. I mean, if anything was going to hurt their legacy, it's what they started off as. The gospel group they started off as, and they just evolved. And I just think this is another evolution of the New Day. As far as Big E, obviously, I don't think he's cleared because they would have probably super kicked him or dropped him during the segment. And I think they left the door open for if he does get cleared, he gets a partner and comes getting revenge. But if he doesn't get cleared, maybe he goes and backs another tag team and they is a manager for them going forward. So I think it's good for the legacy, and I see them just maybe going to run as a heel tag team.
Okay, time. Okay, so first thing, it's only Spock that has a mustache. And I think it's like
Kurt had a goatee.
It's a goatee. Yes, there you go. Yeah. But it's and I really like Elijah's take that I would like to feel hopeful that he will return to the ring. We live in a very strange world where there's medical advances, and something might happen, and we don't know the extent of how long he's been. I mean, 40 years. That point was crazy. I just realized it's been 4 years. So this guy's out of the 10 years, he has been now 4. And I love the idea of not a heel turn between them, but just these two guys moving forward as a heel. I like that as a heel tag team. That makes a lot of sense. And I think the WWE is going to try to do a lot more with tag teams in the future. So yes, that makes sense. Why break them up if they work so well? I'm just saying. All right, perfect. So during Survivor Series, we had I don't know. I didn't see it when it happened on the show, but then it's been on social media a lot. Bronson Reed had a very serious injury on both his ankles, apparently. What could have been done to avoid this? Well, not jumping, I guess, but yeah, I'm just saying. And is this going to stop this guy's momentum? Elijah, you got a minute 30. Go ahead.
Hey, thank you very much. So Bronson Reed, he's being this, monster. He's there to get paid. He's there to move the needle. He's there to do all these things, be this, the beast without the beast incarnate, that kind of thing, right? What could he have done? Let's look at folks who have jumped off the tops of cages recently. Edge broke his 50-year-old legs. You saw the beautiful swanton flip. Io had the can. She didn't get hurt because she's more graceful. Old boy's got gravity working against him. He moves that was just violent. CM Punk grabbing Roman Reigns. And when Bronson came down on that table, he wasn't flat. His feet came down before, so his feet
First.
landed forward, and it was just gnarly. He was supposed to get written off anyway because of part of the storyline, and then he was going to return and eviscerate everybody again. What could have been done? Don't have some dude that's near 400 pounds jumping off the top of the cage. There's one. I don't like the tsunami thing, but hey, it is what it is. He's the beast from the Pacific, and I think we need to reconsider who's jumping off the top of the cage.
Okay, I'm gonna give you 20 seconds more. Just tell me, is this gonna stop his momentum flight?
I think if anything, it'll come back. He'll be able to get repackaged. He'll come back and be able to now be a enemy against the new bloodline. So it may create some additional friction for the new bloodline and create some new feuds.
Time. All right, good. Now, Jay Chile, go ahead, my man.
Yeah, so I agree with LEJ there. Like, how to prevent it? You just don't do it.
Yeah.
It's almost so it's weird, right? Like
we all agree on that, I guess.
Well, it's an odd thing because I've seen more injuries from people jumping off the top rope and landing on their feet, the top rope or the cage, than I do doing splashes or frog splash or a moonsault. So almost like if you're gonna jump, just commit to it and go through the table flat and not land on your feet. Because the same thing happened to Edge. He kind of landed on his feet first and then went through the table. So maybe there's just something in the way that they're landing because they're not going to get rid of that spot. It's going to be there. It's a crowd pleaser. If I'm not mistaken, wasn't Jimmy Uso also hurt jumping off the top doing the same thing from the other corner? So they both got toe. Yeah, so they both got injured doing that. As far as the move, as far as his push, I don't. Yeah, I think it's all going to depend on the length of the injury, right? If they're both just sprained and they can have him on TV and he can, do segments and stuff backstage in limited work, he's probably okay. If they're both broken or going to need surgery, like when we've already talked about him today, but like when Punk was out and he was out for a while, this could definitely hurt him because the wrestling world keeps going, right? So the story that he was built in to do with the bloodline and the new bloodline is going to progress and they're going to plug somebody else in. So if he's not able to recover in time, yes, it's going to hurt his push because they're just going to fill somebody else into that spot going forward.
Yeah, good
time.
point.
Okay, yes. It is kind of hard to be the devil's advocate here and say that it's very unfair that if you are hurt trying to put on a better product,
right,
and then you get your spot taken. And I'm not gonna speak in the specifics, but you guys know where I stand on that.
Oh,
but
I didn't say it was right.
I
didn't say it was right. I just said that's what's going to happen. I know.
I know. But what I'm saying is that they should repack. Like Elliser, he gets this round because that was really good point.
Let's go.
He
should get repackaged, and he was on NXT, right? He was the same name on NXT.
Yeah.
See, yeah, but my problem with him, he's been repackaged like 4 times. Like eventually, repackaging was not going to work anymore, and I just feel like that's where they're at with him personally. Because he got
you
repackaged.
got even less points now.
No, but he got repackaged when he came up from NXT. Then he got repackaged before the Seth Rollins feud. Then he got repackaged after Seth Rollins. Then he got repackaged again for the Bloodline feud. So it's like, how many times are we going to repackage him? He's a big dude that does big moves. Just push him as a monster. Like just push him as a monster, like you would Bronson, like you did
Strowman.
I can't think of his name. Yeah, Strowman. Just push him like Strowman.
All right. Time enough conversation on that.
International news.
So this is an overseas. I don't know if a lot of people saw this. It was in some website, so I thought it was a good thing to bring up. Kendo Nagasaki set the Guinness World Record for the oldest wrestler in a ring at 83 years old.
Has anybody
seen
the match?
World, I have not seen anything. I'm not going to. This is my point exactly. In a world when we need to take care of these people because they're entertainers and they need to get paid well so that they don't have to do this, I'm not sure what the circumstances of this are. Maybe it was just, he stepped on the ring, everybody applauded, everybody went. Alger, you go first. Is this a good thing or a bad thing? And I'm quoting here DDP, I guess. Go ahead. You got 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah, I tell you, like you said, I really appreciate what these athletes have done for the sport. I've been watching this, since I was a kid, almost a little over 40 years now. And, being able to sit and talk with Jerry the King Lawler, seeing what he goes through. You've got Mick Foley, who's had to have every joint replaced. Taz right now is rehabbing. Hope you get better, Taz. Thanks for the like on the last text or tweet. But seeing Ric Flair in the ring was heartbreaking on his 8th retirement match. I think
Jesus, yeah, I know.
There needs to be someone who steps in and goes, enough is enough. Let's do something other than this. Let's just we'll have an inaugural tournament. We'll have whatever, just like they were originally going to call that tournament the Moolah Classic, and then all the dirt came out. She passed away. Then they named it the Mae Young. And I don't think we need to be doing this. We protect them from themselves. We protect their legacy, and we always remember them in the way that we want to remember them. Ric Flair coming down in the Greensboro Coliseum, woo, and just styling and profiling. That's how I want to remember him. Kendo Nagasaki, I want to remember him on the perch. All of those tournaments that he won in Japan, no mas, no more. Let's not.
All right. Yeah. Well, before I go to Jay Tillett, do we consider these things, these old time matches? I don't even know how to call it. Veteran returns, I guess. Is this going to be even more so now with the Mike Tyson boxing match? Are we going to have people at 80?
That's a good point.
Just filling that crowds because of something that we felt when we were young. JTL, you got 1 minute and 30 seconds.
No, that's a good point. Like the nostalgia feel, even of the Tyson fight was pretty cool. The first round, everything else after that was embarrassing. But I'm kind of torn on it, right? Like I understand the wanting to protect these legends and these veterans. However, I'm not going to be the one to tell somebody not to do something if they think they can do it. And it was the same kind of argument I had with the whole Ric Flair thing. Like, if he really was cleared and he felt like he could go in and do it, I'm not going to be the one to say no. Now, am I going to go watch it? Probably not. But I think of like my grandfather, right? And there is no way in hell I was going to tell my grandfather at 75 no on anything because it just made him want to do it more. So as far as like the veterans coming out and doing it, like if that's what they want to do, that's fine. What it'll come down to is what the fan support's like. If it's not drawing, they're not going to do it. But I'd have to research this more to see if this was an actual match, if what the draw was, what the circumstances were. To be honest with you, but again, it's their prerogative, right? Like I'm not going to tell somebody that this was their life and this is what they loved doing their entire life. Yet, no, you can't do one more run, or you didn't get a good enough retirement. You can't do one more spot. I just, that's how I feel about it. I feel like it's up to them. Again, like I said, if I watch it, probably not. But if that's their prerogative and they want to do one more run, let them do it.
Time. Okay. Yeah, kind of a great territory here. It's complicated. I will draw the line at 80. I think that 80. I mean, with Tyson, I watched the whole thing. We actually, Thunder and I were in Mexico City, and we got to watch it. And I'm happy he got paid.
Yep.
For that and the spectacle that it was. I was very happy for the previous match.
Yes.
With the Serrano sister. I think that was amazing. She should have not lost that because she fought with one eye less during the whole match. The whole fight. But
pretty nasty.
If this is a match at 83, and you have to, we just talked about Bronson falling to his ankles.
Right.
Yeah, let's not do that at 80. Let's keep them safe. I think
So,
that's
little
go ahead.
backstory. So they did the show. It was
Right.
part of a 6-man tag, 750 people, and he was instantly disqualified. So there was no bump and feed. He
Okay.
busted out a kendo stick, and it was in Northern Ireland. So there's that.
Oh
But
wow.
hey,
Okay, that's very
he's in the
random.
books, and let's leave it at that.
Yeah,
There you go.
hopefully he got a payday from that. All right. So apparently, our favorite shows are going into streaming platforms. WWE is going to Netflix, and AEW it's going to Max, starting January 1st. Both. Although AEW it is going to still be on cable. Is this going to be good for wrestling? Not for the companies because they're going to get paid, but is being on streaming platforms good for wrestling for what we like to watch? Or is it going to make it niche, which means that less people will see it, and then that means that less crowds. So, Ellie George, you got 1,030 seconds.
Hey, thank you. So I have almost all of the streaming platforms minus Max. So I'm like, okay, well, great. Now and I keep reducing my cable because I don't need as many shows. Tiffany likes a couple of channels. I like a couple of channels. So I keep cutting back and then increasing what I'm streaming. Is this going to hurt or help? So I remember when it started getting a little more difficult to catch Monday Night Football, to catch your favorite football team. I grew up in New York, moved to Arizona, and now I live in Florida. It is next to impossible to find a New York Football Giants game unless I go to my neighborhood watering hole and hope that the Jags aren't playing. Oh, wait a minute. Although their game is on, they're really not playing because they're not playing very well. Granted, the New York Football Giants aren't
Coming
playing
from
very
a
well.
Giants fan.
Yeah, exactly. But if you're going to catch a game, you want to watch your team. So there we have it. How is this going to help or hurt? I think this is going to be good for the product because the product is going to be able to push a little bit closer to that ruthless aggression era. And it will help what AEW is trying to do. And that will be a new influx of cash. And hopefully it will help the
10 seconds.
product and bring a little bit more maturity to the product, a few more producers behind the scenes, and all around make the product a little bit better.
Time. All right. Good points. Good points. Go ahead, JT. You got 1,030 seconds.
So I'm curious to see what WWE looks like on Netflix. So they're going to lose their ad revenue, where their ads, I would assume. So maybe that's why they're doing the big prime in the middle of the ring. So they'll have sponsors like that. As far as people coming and going and the amount of eyes on it, it depends on how Netflix pushes it. Right? Netflix has 282 million subscribers, I think it is right now. 290 million subscribers worldwide right now. But look at what happened on the Tyson fight, right? People logged in to see that, and the stream was shit. I felt like I was watching Punch Out when I played it on my Nintendo. So,
yeah,
what
it was 480. It was 480.
it was terrible. What are they going to do WrestleMania, right? What are they going to do when it's 96 million people logging at the arena, and then who knows how many WrestleMania views? Like, are they going to be able to sustain a stream? Even Monday Night Raws, depending, they're looking at millions of viewers in the ratings right now and over. Are they going to be able to sustain that? I think they will. I think it'll be fine. I think the Tyson fight was like a very unique thing. Ridiculous amount of people watched it. As far as the business goes, I think the business is going to chug along. This is a natural evolution. Just like when they went from Saturday nights to Mondays and Thursdays. Then you had the WWE Network. I think this is just the evolution of it. That's all. I'm glad one point. It'll get rid of the stupid ratings talk.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm glad about.
Okay, we might have to do a second round on this because now there are a few points here that they need to be considered. Yes, you are right. They did have the WWE Network. They had the app. do you guys think, and now I just want a quick answer from each of you guys. Do you guys think that pro wrestling is moving away from US based and becoming an international thing? And this is because I live overseas. I live in Mexico. You guys know this. But we were able to watch the Tyson fight, no buffering, because we were in the Mexico servers, right? So we did not get. So one thing is, people will probably watch it the next day or during the week. They will not watch it live, so it will be less of a live event kind of thing, right?
For
And
Raw,
two,
but for your
we will
pay-per-views,
be
they'll
more of an
live.
international catering taste. What do you guys think on that? Each of you got 30 seconds. Elijah, go first.
I totally agree. You look at all the PLEs that the WWE is doing, they're going overseas almost exclusively. AEW is bringing a lot of more international, a lot of CMLL. They've always been fans with, the AAA crowd and in Japan. So I absolutely agree. It's a more of an international product now instead of that territorial, my guy in Missouri against your guy in, Michigan or whatever. So definitely international.
Time. Go ahead, Jay Taylor. What do you think?
I agree. I think it's definitely bringing it to a worldwide view. You brought the territorial thing, and I like the idea of, instead of just being different parts of the territory, U.S., kind of like what AEW does with your Forbidden Door. Now you've got territorials around the world, right? You've got luchadors, and you can open that up to more people. More people are going to see it. I think it's going to get more eyes on the product. At the peak, I think the WWE Network is at 1.5 million people, something like that, total subscribers. They're going to Netflix, which is 290. So more eyes.
Yeah, more eyes. The product will change. I am personally very excited about what will happen with WWE. Thinking on the past, well, I'm not so sure that they will go to ruthless aggression. I think that if they're gonna make something definite, they will go back to the Attitude Era. They already brought the Hardcore Championship. We're gonna have a Hardcore Championship. I mean, like, if you guys remember, that thing was crazy, and it was not the 24-hour, 24/7. That was the stupidest, one of the stupidest things ever. It was.
Did you see Netflix listed Raw as TVMA?
TVMA. That is insane. What does that mean? That means a little bit of blood and guts. So, that's going back to where you said that I wasn't, but now I am because you said that I was. So, beautiful. Anyways, AEW is going to Australia. Buddy Matthews, talking about international globalization of the pro wrestling. I mean, pro wrestling, lucha libre, and strong style, they're all pretty global. But I mean, now we're reaching a part of the world that it's literally disconnected from the rest of us, right? It's not connected. Right. It's not easy to get there. There are some huge stars that are Australian. Buddy Matthews comes to mind. What does it do for the global scene to have a show actually it's a couple of shows, right, in Australia? Elijah, you have a minute and 30 seconds.
So Australia originally was set up to be the prison island for the UK. So there's that, right? Now, if Buddy is going to be the biggest Australian at the show, he's a mid-card member of a fantastic faction. He's held the 6-man. He hasn't held any individual gold in AEW. He was a cruiserweight champion with WWE. I think he did some independent stuff, and then I think it was CPW. I won't throw a bunch of numbers out, letters, but he wrestled regionally and did some big things, and he's got a pretty legit wife. But I think, going international, it going to Australia, I think it's awesome for Australia, just like it was awesome for Wales, just like it's awesome, when they go back to Ireland, those small islands getting the huge footprint. When they went to Puerto Rico, I thought that was phenomenal. And, getting eyes on the prize in that community, all that money being flooded into hopefully the infrastructure can handle it. I think it's going to be great. And we put Buddy Matthews up on a pedestal. Does he win
10 seconds.
the TNT title? Does he come out the big victor of a huge battle royal? I hope they treat him like a champion there at home.
Time. Perfect. Yes. I will come back with some ideas after this. Go ahead, JT. You got a minute and 30 seconds.
All right. So as far as a good move playing shows over there, I think they overestimated the amount of fans they were going to get. I mean, they've already had to change the venue because they weren't making sales.
Wow.
So, and that could be an AEW problem. I don't know. I don't remember looking at WWE's numbers on what their sales were, but I do know that AEW had the idea of going in there and running a big arena show, and they've recently dropped it down to a smaller venue. So I don't know what the draw is going to be there. I also don't know enough about Australia on how spread out it is, right? Like, so when we went to All In London, Europe's pretty small. You can kind of get there from everywhere. I don't know how big Australia is compared to. So it could be the location of the arena, and maybe it's a 6-hour drive to get there, and that's why the sales go.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's the U.S. with no trains.
Yeah, so that could be a problem too. But personally, I think whenever they go anywhere, whatever company it is, whether it's New Japan, CMLL, AEW, WWE, anywhere in the world, go see it. Like it's wrestling. Like that's what's keeping wrestling alive. And I won't get into the controversial takes on some of the places they go for
10 seconds.
Just the fat money, but any of your standard places, go see it. Like, right, if they go do Ireland, if they go do Puerto Rico, if they do Hawaii show, like, why not? Like, spread wrestling around, and if it's something to enjoy, go enjoy it.
Well, I think that if you have a star from a country, and I think you should put some gold on him, definitely. And he's earned it. I mean, seriously. I mean, come on. Yes, please. Also, I think that it's very important to go into countries and break new ground.
Yeah.
These are global companies, regardless of whatever it's happening in the ticket numbers and all the stuff. You still have to go everywhere that you can.
Yeah.
So that's but I gotta say something, and you mentioned something that we shouldn't mention, but I'm gonna mention it. Kind of when they go to countries they're not supposed to go because of conflicts, they sell out. So I'm hoping that's the same situation here. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so this is gonna be probably the most.
So real quick, Australia. Australia, they moved from a venue that was going to host 52,000 people. And now they've sold roughly 17,000. So they've moved into a venue that holds about 20,000. So they're hoping to get those. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah.
That's an amazing number. I mean,
it's still great.
What events does that? Yes, of course. Yeah.
Most controversial.
So this is probably the most controversial part of the night or day, whatever you're watching this. Eric Bischoff. It's an MLW for one shot. Is he good for MLW? So that's the first part of the question. And the second part of the question is, why is he commenting on AEW? Does that help anyone besides him? Go ahead. Wow, you guys already answering. So we're going to move on to the next. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead and leave. You have a minute and 30 seconds.
So Eric Bischoff is, he loves him some him. And he's all about controversy. He's a Hall of Famer with the WWE. Good for him. 83 weeks, that whole thing. But is he good for MLW? MLW is a phenomenal product. It's a very grungy, I love talking about Lucha Underground. It's not a Lucha Underground quality product, but it's pretty damn close.
It feels like it. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
Depending on where they're at in the country, they're a little grungier. When they're in the Pacific Northwest or Northern California, much more of a pit, mixed martial art feel to it. Very, very cool product. And, that's where Jacob Fatu cut his teeth. And, there's some phenomenal wrestlers over there. What is MLW gaining from bringing Eric Bischoff in? oh, Eric Bischoff is going to be with MLW. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't Eric Bischoff on NXT tonight? So, I mean, it just seems like a money grab for Eric Bischoff. He's not fully invested in professional wrestling like he used to be. If you listen to his shows, he knows so much about wrestling, and what he brought to the American wrestling scene and WCW and everything was phenomenal. I really appreciate what he did for the Monday Night Wars, but he's not good for MLW, and MLW doesn't need that type of publicity.
Okay, you got another 20 seconds just to tell me, should he be commenting on AEW, and is it helpful for AEW?
I don't think he should be. I don't think he should be commenting, because everything he's talking about is hearsay, and anything that he's being told is like strictly confidential, and like, you know, someone behind the curtain is telling him in confidence, and he's just trying to get himself over for his podcast. So I don't think he should be.
Good point, my man. All right, we'll come back with more comments on this, because it's, unfortunately, I think it's going to dominate the conversation in the next couple of weeks instead of wrestling, because you know there's always a counter in these things, and we'll see what happens. Go ahead, J. Philo, you got a minute and 30 seconds.
All right. As far as the MLW thing, I don't watch MLW much. I think I need to, because I keep hearing great things about it. Him doing a one-night thing, a one-night stand.
One shot,
whatever they're calling it. Yeah, that's fine. Go get your money. It is what it is. I agree with a lot of what Ellie Jarrett said. I think he is in it for himself and his money and his name. Whether or not, you know, he was great for wrestling, right? Bringing in WCW and what he did and the NWO, great for wrestling back then. Now I think he just talks to hear himself talk, and I think he tries to say stuff controversial just to get people and eyes on it. Like you said, it's going to dominate the talk over the next few days and maybe a week, because he said something about AEW will never fix it because they don't know what they're doing. Okay, they've outlasted WCW. Like, I almost think he's jealous of what Tony Khan has been able to put on. I almost think maybe there's some resentment that Tony Khan didn't take some of his ideas when he was there. It's just a weird dynamic, right? Like, so we know Eric Bischoff was there with Cody and did a lot at the beginning of AEW, and I'm just wondering how much of it is personal, right? I've never seen a promoter in wrestling, in the years I've watched it, be attacked as much as Tony Khan and AEW are. Like,
sorry, 10 seconds.
Yeah, I don't want to be a defender, and yes, I like him, but I mean, what does he know, and why is he trying to say about AEW? They've already beaten WCW. Their product is better than WCW was at the end. So, yeah.
Okay. Very, very on the dot point. I think there's a certain necessity to be relevant, although you're still getting paid, because the guy is very creative. I gotta give him that. He did invented a lot of the things that now are built on to. Well, I'm not saying invented, but I will say he made them part of the standard wrestling life, I guess. The way that things are done are greatly influenced by what he did back in the 90s, early 2000s.
Real quick, I think he's just a more watered down version of Jim Cornette, where he's just saying stuff to get attention.
Personally. Okay, awesome. But
not racist. I'm not saying
no. But my point is that is not the way you fix something that you think it should be fixed. If you want to fix something, you do it in a positive way. Now, shouting at the moon, just howling at the moon, it does nothing to help anyone, and it does sound a little hurtful. It does sound a little bit just trying to get those views.
Petty.
And I'm just saying, just trying to get those views. It's a thing that is happening to everyone, and I guess all this. And he said there's something that he says himself. So I think that if you really want to fix something, You just don't shout at it, and you actually go and try to do something to fix it.
And real quick on that point, right? Look at Bully Ray on Busted Open, right? He has said he's
Shout out to Bully
not
Ray.
not been the greatest supporter of AEW and criticized them, but he's also come out on the show on Busted Open several times and said, "I will give them free advice. Like I will come and help them." Like so that's giving a solution to a problem, not just pointing out the problem and doing nothing with it. And as in our lives in the military and in Amazon when we were there, that's something that is important. Like, hey, here's the problem, here's how to fix it. Not just here's your problem, you should figure out how to fix it.
Right. Okay, we already spent too much time on this.
Unnecessary speculation.
So it has come out to light that WWE will be sponsoring, will be the word, to the NIL to some college students. Now with the WWE ID and these NIL deals, they are really trying to, grab some of the chunk of the talent of the athletes in the United States. Is this the way to bring the pipeline of future stars, future superstars? And is this good for wrestling in the future? Now, we've talked about this in the past, and this is a context for those watching or listening. We believe that if you chokehold the future talent, then you're not going to get the best talent in the future, because then they don't get the natural growth that is gonna have an impact in the next couple of years. Is this NIL thing a good thing for future wrestling? Now you have to think about this. These are college students that are gonna get paid, and that didn't happen ever before. So that's the flip side of it. Now, Elijah, you have a minute and 30 seconds. Is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? What's going to happen with wrestling in the future?
So I think this is really cool. I think it's very exciting. I think it's a good thing as long as it doesn't turn into some kind of hostile thing, right? So WWID is the first of its kind developmental program launched by the WWE to provide up-and-coming independent wrestlers a pathway to a potential career, along with independent wrestlers in other wrestling schools and interested in a professional wrestling career. So you've got guys and girls who are lineage of WWE Hall of Famers who are interested in this program. Then you've got college wrestlers, you've got independent wrestlers who have been in and out of the WWE pipeline who are being offered these deals because they're still credible talent and other companies have been interested in them. So now they're going to receive some kind of compensation. So it's going to be good for WWE. It's going to be good for NXT, Monday Night Raw. If the WWE is going to continue on with the agreement with TNA, that could become their developmental piece.
10 seconds.
If NXT and MLW also develop some kind of a relationship, I think that would be phenomenal. Is it good overall? It could potentially stranglehold the development of wrestlers for every company. Time.
All right. Good points there. JT, go ahead. You have 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yeah. So just real quick, I just popped it up. And the NIL, they actually launched it in 2021. This deal, and I think it's just making a big push now because of some of the newer college names getting added to it. Right? It's interesting, right? For the business, I don't. It's one of those two-sided coins, right? I absolutely think that the college athletes should be paid, but we can get into a whole nother story about NCAA, college football paying their play. That licensing, the NCAA game that came out, all that stuff. We can get into all that. As far as the wrestling world, the issue I take with it is WWE is now going out there and looking at athletes that potentially in the long run may go to wrestling, may not. They don't know. If they don't, cool, they're getting their license and stuff done. But if they decide to go to wrestling, now they're recruited to WWE and they kind of own that name. So that's kind of the downside, right? It's what killed the wrestling industry not right away, right? I'm not going to say WWE was not successful when they shut down the territories and monopolized everything. It was. But look how stale and stagnant it got as it went on because there was no fresh talent, no fresh competition. I shouldn't say
10
talent,
seconds.
no fresh competition. And I think what this is going to do is put a stranglehold on that competition because now they're recruiting from the indies, which is what AEW did to get started. Now they're tagging these athletes that are going to come up as college athletes, and they're going to WWE.
Time.
So you got no open talent out there.
Okay, so I'm going to give another couple of seconds here. How are they going to measure the success of an NIL sponsorship or however it's called? Right? I mean, WWE, we get it. You already are trying to be a WWE superstar. Because, I mean, ultimate goal, right? Being on TV and global company. But how are you going to measure the NIL and what guarantees are they going to ask? I mean, right? What guarantees are they going to ask from you so that you will get this money? Because, you can be a tackle or you can be a gymnastics or well, I'm assuming this is the criteria they're looking for, right? This is the kind of people. How are they going to measure this so that they will go to WWE at the end of the day? And are college wrestlers, I mean, for every, I don't know, Brock Lesnar, how many out there did not make it from college to wrestle? They had to go to the indies. They had to go all this. Elger, you got 20 seconds. What do you think it's, how do you think they're going to measure this? What do you think is the compromise here?
So I think the wrestling organizations that they're going to be earmarking are going to be some of the upper mid-class indies, and they have 5 schools that are owned by Seth Rollins, WWE superstar, Rikishi, Hall of Famer, Cody Rhodes, the Roadster, Booker T, and there's a couple other schools that are also owned by WWE superstars. Hopefully the one here in St. Augustine will hop on that list, but it will be a short list of where those schools that Gotti, that's a good one. You got to get your shit in.
Yeah, come on, man. All right, bro. Same question. How do you think they're going to measure this? How do you think they're going to? How are they going to make
Not
it?
well.
So, what is the compromise? How are they going to make you go and become a superstar after they spend all this money in college before you get developed as a human?
Yep. So since 2001, when they started this, they've only signed 60 college athletes so far, and none of them have really worked out on the main roster. So obviously there's something not working right. Gable Stevenson.
Gabe
Yeah,
Stevenson.
Yeah, he's one of the most recent one and the most famous one that we've heard of, right? Brought him up, NXT, no response, no reaction. They let him go.
All right. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess we're going to have to come back to this subject again because I felt that there's a lot of things that are not completely, that we don't know. And I guess we got to dig a little bit deeper on this.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys think you would like to go back to this in another time?
Yeah.
All right. Perfect. All right.
Yeah, definitely. There's a couple of really cool videos that have a bunch of hits, it looks like. One of them is by Titus O'Neil, who he breaks down the whole entire thing. And he's really big on recruiting here on the East Coast. So if we get a hot chance, I'm definitely going to check that out. So great topic, though. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
There's some really good stuff that comes out of it. Like they teach them how to market themselves, which is what WWE is massively good for. So even if they don't become a wrestling superstar, they've learned some really good stuff to market themselves to whatever they're going to do in the future.
Final thoughts.
All right, so we have come to the end of the show, and you guys will have a minute to tell us something impactful that you have watched this week regarding wrestling, something that you thought it was pretty cool, something that you thought it was fucking shitty. I'm going to have to edit that part now. Just something that you think it was, something that happened this week that you thought, hey, that was pretty cool. Oh, that was pretty bad. Now we're going to flip the things, and Jay Tilly, you go first. You have, hold on, you have 1 minute.
1 minute. All right, Continental Classic. I think kicking off the Continental Classic, it's my favorite thing that AEW does. I love the structure of it. I love that they adhere to the structure of it, the 20 minutes, no interference, all that stuff. I love that we got to see Okada versus Garcia. I love that we're seeing some really, really interesting matchups coming forward. I'm really excited to see how the tournament plays out. And the fact that the final night at World's End, you could have Okada versus Will Ospreay. You could have Okada, they're going to wrestle twice that night, whoever that winner is. So really, really intriguing to where it sparked my, this is fun again, which, has been kind of missing in AEW other than their pay-per-views. So that was it for me. I'm digging the Continental Classics. I think it's a great idea. I wish he did more of them. I think instead of the little women's 4 tournament thing, he should do a whole Continental Classic for the women and launch it like a different time of the year.
Oh, good. You got the words right on time.
He got it in there.
All right, buddy. All right,
I didn't get mine in. He got his in. Damn it.
Yeah.
Let's go.
You got 1 minute to go. This is your time. Tell us something that you thought it was special this week.
What did I see? I saw some great news and talk coming from Eddie Kingston on social media. He's on the grind. He's trying to get better. They're telling him, hey, we're not going to see you until late next year. He wants to be back sooner rather than later. He is the Mad King. I can't wait to see him back in the ring. Seeing the premium live event the WWE recently held, the women's match, a lot of wonky bits in there, but the women came through, did the damn thing. Kudos to Rhea. I think that was a phenomenal victory. And all in all, all the companies are getting it in, putting it in. TNA has been great. NXT is amazing. And I cannot wait to see who the inaugural Intercontinental and United States Women Champions are. I think it's awesome.
All right.
Finished too early.
Too early, yes. Yeah. Too loud, too quick, brother.
Sorry,
you and your premature finishing.
That's good. All right.
Clean up.
We had come to the end of the show. This has been amazing. I thought that this was a great way to, everybody get their own opinions. We still ran about an hour. However, I think that this was pretty cool. But I would like for everyone that listens to this show or watches to let us know if you enjoy this new format, which we'll be bringing about every week. Just trying to do a recap of everything because so many things happen in wrestling. It's kind of hard to just focus on one laser thing. It's a lot of things coming out very, very fast. This is wrestling, and such as is life. So if you guys enjoy this, please let us know in the comments. Share, like, and subscribe. Ellie Jarrett, JT Lee, take us out.
Right on. Well, hey, thanks for checking us out here in the No Shave Man Cave to the El Edador. Thank you, mi amigo. Until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and we'll see you on the floor.
On the floor.
The bodies hit the